Hi, thanks for joining me today. It's Selina from Montauk Library and Hampton's Home Cooking, and I am cooking with pickles today. Not really cooking, making delicious pickled vegetables. I know a lot of kids love pickles and the good old-fashioned cucumber that goes in there, but how about trying to pickle your own vegetables from our beautiful East End farm stands or from your own garden? Today we're going to have pickled carrots and cucumber. You can use asparagus, which are growing right now in the East End. You can even use celery if you'd like. Any vegetable you like, even if you like onions, we're going to use that as well. Onions, you say? Well, it's going to be a sweet and sour pickling, and you can do it in your refrigerator. You don't put this on the shelf or store it in the basement. This is refrigerator easy pickling for kids and families in the kitchen to get everybody together cooking and having fun. So I went outside and saw what was growing in my garden, and I have some basil, and I have chervil and dill, and also some cilantro. So these are great herbs to use in pickling. If you don't have any herbs, you can go to the farm stand out here in the East End and grab some great herbs, or you can use some dried herbs. So if you have oregano, this is what I like as a dried herb in pickling. It's actually really good. And if you're lucky enough and you have celery salt or celery seed, this would be great in your pickling as well. We're also going to use garlic powder. A lot of kids don't really like whole garlic cloves. I'm lucky because I love them and I had my kids eating them at a young age. So if you can use whole garlic, great. We grow a lot of great garlic on the East End. But if not, use garlic powder. This will do the trick. It'll make a great seasoning, and it's not that strong. It's just tasty. Today for vegetables, we're going to use some asparagus because they're grown out here in the East End this time of year in the springtime, and they're really easy to cook. So I'm going to start this pan with 1.5 cups of water in it and start it to boil. And I'm also going to boil my trusty red kettle in the back because we're going to need some boiling water. And this is what you're going to use. Any East End fresh vegetables that you can find. So I have some asparagus here. You can use some cucumber that everybody likes. Zucchini would be great. Carrot. Peppers are always a hit. Onions are nice when you put a little sugar and salt on them and let them marinate. We're also going to use some cooked beets, which I'll tell you about in a minute, and string beans. So I have this water up to boil because the mixture that we're marinating or pickling the vegetables in is going to be water, lemon juice, salt, your spices, which would be salt and pepper, and your dried seasonings, or your fresh herbs. And then we're going to just have our vegetables cut nice and thin and stack them in these really nice big jars. If you have canning jars, great. They can be the smaller size. Or if you have a nice big one like this, that's great. If you don't, this is a refrigerator pickling recipe. So we're not going to store this on the shelf. This goes in the refrigerator because it will spoil if you do not leave it in the refrigerator. It's easy, it's fun, but it's not for long-term storage on a shelf. If you have a nice big drinking glass, you can use this. So really easy, really fun. Let's get started. First, I'm going to tell you how you can quickly get your asparagus ready. This is fun for kids to do. Take your asparagus, hold it at the end where it snaps. This part you can use in a stew or disregard. And then this part is the nice tender asparagus we're going to set into this pot of boiling and then simmering water. So a good activity for the kids is to break the asparagus, and moms or dad or caregivers, you can get this water to boil and then put it on simmer, and you can cook as many asparagus as you'd like. We're just going to blanch them. So I have this water at boiling. I'm going to put my asparagus in and just leave it for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's blanched. Earlier, I took my beets and I just did this. All you have to do to peel your beets is get a peeler and just start going right down the beet. So if you're a kid and you're with your parents, you can go ahead and start peeling these beets. Watch your fingers. Teens, you can do this all by yourself. And there you go. The beet starts to come through. And what I did was I sliced them into about 1/4 inch slices. I'm going to show you what it looks like because I had these cooking earlier. And I'll tell you, they definitely get your fingers red. But here is a gorgeous cooked beet. So I have some cooled that I've set aside that we're going to use in this beautiful pickled vegetable, easy refrigerator, and super simply tasty pickled vegetable recipe. So we've got the asparagus here. They're just cooking for a few minutes. And then the other vegetable that I have is the cucumber. So moms or dads, you can go ahead and slice the cucumber and get it prepared. And kids, you can actually do this if you have parental supervision or a really good butter knife that will actually let you cut through this cucumber. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the cucumber. And then what you want to do is, they can get a little slippery. What you want to do is you want to slice this cucumber so it's about 1/2 inch slices all the way around. And that's what we're going to use in the pickled vegetable recipe. So the asparagus are starting to boil, and oh, you have to pre-cook the carrots as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this carrot in half. This is a huge carrot. So remember, you want about 1/2 inch slices. It's going to look something like this. And I'm going to go ahead and set that aside because put the flat side down when you're cutting the carrot. It's a lot easier. Now remember, this is for adults, moms and dads, to do this part, but the kids can help stack into the containers. So I have the carrots done here. You don't want it too thick. This one came out a little too thick, so I'm going to go ahead and slice it one more time. Same with this one. So the asparagus are cooking now, and I'm going to go ahead and take the asparagus off, getting a plate, and also my trusty equipment. These asparagus come right out. You don't want to really cook them. We're just going to blanch them. So that was the asparagus in the boiling water. Those are out. And then the next thing, we want to get the carrots in. So I'm going to put these carrot sticks in the water because it's just going to help get them a little soft, tender to absorb the liquid mix that we're going to pickle it in the refrigerator. So my water is almost boiling. I'm going to shut that off. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut up some pepper. So adults, you can just cut the pepper in half. After you de-seed it, which is cut off the top, take out the seeds, cut it in half, and then cut it down so that you get the flat strip, and then just cut those 1/2 inch slices that'll look something like this. And the water is done. I'm going to take that off, and I'll show you how we make the pickling liquid. But first, let's get these vegetables cut. So I've got the pepper done. Flat side down, you're making 1/2 inch strips. You're going to want about 4 cups of vegetables. So everyone usually likes red peppers, right? If you don't, use what vegetables you like. You know, it's hard sometimes to eat a raw radish unless it's cut really thin. But today we're going to half the radishes because they will taste great with this sweet and savory, beautiful pickling recipe. Now our cucumbers, you want to get those 1/2-inch slices. The seed part is tricky, really tricky. I would, if it's really seedy, just use this as a little snack later because it's not going to hold up well in the liquid. So here's your pickle, your almost pickled cucumber slices. If it's a soft cucumber, make the slices just a little bit bigger and then they'll hold up nicer. Everyone likes that. I have a couple more here. It's fun to go to the farm stands out here in the East End. And hopefully now that we're kind of easing out of quarantine and businesses are opening up, you can go to the East End farm stands because they have it down. They are great. I go to one here on the North Fork and you can easily go in and wait online, keep your distance and get whatever vegetables you need. They even go in and get them for you sometimes. So it's great. East End, as well as we know I love. You can go to the East End and get anything you want from the farm stands as well. A lot of things are available now. A lot of kids like green onions. So what you're going to do with the green onion is just slice it right in half. Right down the middle. There you go. And we'll do it again. This looks great. Put that there with the vegetables. So far, we've got our vegetables piling up. You want 4 cups of vegetables. We're going to fill 2 containers. And then string beans are super easy. They're local East End vegetable right now, great in the springtime. So I got a nice big handful of string beans. You're going to put those in whole. With a regular onion, you can go ahead and cut it in about 10 wedges. And you'll see, I have only half an onion here, what those wedges look like. So here's a wedge. This will be great in the container. There we go. Any little pieces, just put aside for a salad. You can take out the middle, put it aside for a salad, and here's your wedges. This is perfect. This one's a little thick. I'm going to cut this in half. So it looks like a 1/2-inch slice of onion. Okay, that is done. And what about zucchini? Zucchini is great. Here on the East End, lots of zucchini coming out for spring. If you get organic zucchini, you don't even have to peel it, or you can wash it really well. And then go ahead and cut it in those 1/2-inch slices. Now you're going to see a big difference in who likes zucchini when it is refrigerator pickled. So we are almost all ready. I had those carrots on off, so they are ready right now. And we will just get these carrots out when here they are. Trusty grabbers. Now these carrots are going to soak up a lot of the flavor. So here's your vegetable platter, 4 cups of vegetables all done. You've got your herbs and your onions. And now I'm going to show you how to make the pickling liquid. So we had our hot water here. And for 4 cups of vegetables, let me get my measuring cup so I can show you. This is a 1/2 cup. For 4 cups of vegetables, just checking, you're going to want to use a 1/2 cup of lemon juice and a cup of water. So I'm going to take the hot water because we want the water to dissolve my secret ingredient. 1 cup of hot water and a 1/2 cup of lemon juice per jar. So here we go. Got some fresh lemons. We're going to squeeze this until we get a 1/2 cup of lemon juice, but be careful to take out the pits. Hey, that's a great activity for you. You know, kids love to use an old-fashioned lemon squeezer. So if you have a citrus squeezer or you don't have one, you should get one. Because every time I've done a kids cooking class, they love working with the lemon juicer, lemon squeezer, whatever you want to call it. The old-fashioned juicer. And I just take out the pits. And I have my half-cup measurer. So I'm going to measure a half cup of lemon juice. And usually it's about 2 lemons. So you can go to town squeezing your lemons. Oh, that one didn't have any pits. So I'm going to show you how to make 1 jar, and then you can just go ahead and repeat for the next jar as far as the liquid ingredients go. So I'm going to use 1 more lemon. It's really lemony, but it's good. And this way, if you have a kid that doesn't like the taste of vinegar, or vinegar might be too strong, this is a way to get kids to eat vegetables and have them be nice and crunchy and sweet, because I'm going to show you the secret ingredient. So here we go. Yep, a half cup of lemon juice is definitely 2 lemons most of the time. If you see any little pits, just take them out. So our last half of a lemon, and then this is going to finish it. But this had all the pits in it. Get out those pits. You know, it's fun to get families and kids together in the kitchen this way because there's something for everyone to do. So if you're a teenager, this is something you could do on your own if you're stuck in quarantine and you love to cook. If you're a parent, this is great to work with your kids in this way. So I have a half a cup of lemon juice. And now I'm going to wash my hands and show you the secret ingredient. This is a way to get kids to love to eat vegetables. And this is a way kids to love the taste of vegetables. How? With lemon juice, which is a little savory, a little tangy. And we're going to use 1/8 of a cup of sugar. I have a 1/4 cup measurer. I'm going to use half of it. And we're going to melt it into this hot water that we had previously on the stove. Use a little whisk. And kids, you can go ahead and whisk up and melt that sugar in the water. Wait until it's all melted. And now we need 1 teaspoon of salt. So if you want to use a salt grinder, that's great. If you can judge a teaspoon, kind of fill up the palm of your hand in the center, just about like the size of a nickel. But if you have the regular good old superfine salt ground all the way up, you're going to put in your salt and dissolve it into the hot water. Now it's going to be salty to add a lot of flavor to the vegetables, and that's fine. So if you're using your dried herbs, you can go ahead and you use 1 tablespoon dried oregano. Crush it into the hot water, and then whisk it around or stir it around, get the salt and the flavor of the dried herbs out. If you're using your fresh herbs, I love this chervil that I grew in the garden. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in whole, and I'm going to show you how. I'm also going to use some basil, and I'm going to put this in whole too. If you don't want to use the whole sprigs of the herbs, which I think are really pretty, you can also use dill. You can chop the herbs and then use about 2 tablespoons of chopped herbs, fresh herbs. So now we're going to go ahead. If you have celery salt, this is great. I'm going to add in about, I think a teaspoon would be great. There we go. And garlic powder, the secret ingredient. Let's use a teaspoon of this too. I have to do this to the side because it's a shaker. So a teaspoon is about the size of a nickel in your palm. There you go. Easy. We're having fun in the kitchen. No stress. You just do your thing. And now take this and dissolve it all together. And kids and parents, you can smell. It smells really good. It smells like a chicken broth almost. It smells delicious. If you like pepper, you can just grind up a little bit of black pepper. If you like spicy, you can put in some red pepper. And now we're going to just give this one more stir. Take your jar or your cup. I'm going to show you how to do both. And we're going to stack in the vegetables. So first, I'll show you the vegetables we have here. Let me balance this. Okay. We're going to stack in a cucumber on the side, red pepper, carrot, zucchini, string bean, cucumber, red pepper. Just keep going in a circle. Carrot. The carrots are a little softer, remember, because we blanched them. String bean, zucchini, and onion, green onion, red pepper, cucumber, red pepper, carrot, string beans, whatever you like. And make sure you get a nice colorful mix so it looks appetizing. String beans in there, onions. I like to kind of pile up the onions to one side because it's easier than to just grab your onions. And there is one jar of your vegetables cut up. There's the onions I put in there. And then the very center, we're going to add the herbs, the dill. I'm going to put in the side by the onions because I like the way that is. The basil, I'm going to put in the center. The chervil, I'm going to go ahead and put in the center. And I'll tell you why. Because I am going to add the hot liquid right into the center. And it's going to go into the herbs and burst the flavor out into all the vegetables. So that's why the herbs are kind of in the middle. And now you're going to take your lemon juice and add it into the water mixture now that it's cooled a little bit and stir it up. Take this liquid and move that cup so you can see and pour it right in the center. This is fun for kids to do, and you can just fill this whole jar up. Let's finish it. And you can see that the liquid is all interspersed in the jar. And then if you have like a little bit of extra room, add some of that hot water right on top just to seal it. Put the cover on, and this goes right into the refrigerator. If you can put this in the refrigerator overnight, it's best, but chill it at least an hour or two before eating, and the vegetables will be sweet and crunchy and delicious. So this is a great way to get kids to enjoy vegetables, maybe that they haven't tried. You can also, like I said, put halves of radishes in here. They're really good when they're pickled this way. You can have the kids kind of turn it upside down and over and make sure it gets all marinated with that delicious pickling refrigerator juice. Remember, this is not to be put on the shelf and stored in the basement or anything like that. It's refrigerator pickling. It's simple and easy for kids, and I'm so glad that you're going to try this at home with your kids and have fun in the kitchen. I'm Selena, and this is pickled refrigerator vegetables. For more information, go to hamptonshomecooking.com and certainly Montauk Library's website. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope that you get the kids in the kitchen and all cook together.